In Plateau, a city of class and grace. The kind of city that has strollers for their dogs and leashes for their children. Medieval type strollers, of course. I know what game this is for. And the dog is some fantasy dog, like a teacup blink dog or something. It's really very cute. The city is a melting pot of all types of creatures, as long as they can afford the exorbitant HOA fees. There's plenty of unique and rare items for sale here, though, so it's never a bad idea to swing on through and see what you can obtain, be it through a standard transaction of paying for goods through an agreed upon currency, or if you're too poor for that, which you possibly are. But I don't know, I haven't seen your bank account statement, but if you want, go ahead and leave that in the comments section. There's also so many nasty ways you can obtain these things too, but I don't care, I'm not a cop. I'd have to tell you if I was. But as you stroll around, you hear the gossip that's all aflutter, like a bird or a bad pacemaker. It seems this town, with all its vast magical securities, because, yeah, they can afford it, has been hit by a string of thefts. And National Treasure, Book of Secret style, the culprit has seemingly been able to get in and out without detection. Now, this is strange. No one but a DM themselves should be able to enter or exit these buildings at night when the arcane wards are up and kicking. So, maybe you're approached by some anxious gnome in a pinstripe suit and pince-nez glasses who's heard enough good things about you to beg for your help. Or look, sometimes people put stuff up on bounty boards, and you need the gold because you blew your party funds on a goat and a cart, only to find out the goat couldn't pull the cart with you all in it, and it wasn't a real goat anyways. But for the sake of this story, let's say it was the gnome thing that I just talked about. A pattern of locations of crimes has already been determined because I'd never trust a D&D party to figure something like that out. And it's assumed that jewelry store name here will be the next spot to be hit. And you know what they say about when you assume, sometimes you're right. So after a bit of chit-chat and this and that with the owner of the jewelry store name here, you're told they have life-detecting sensors and that the shop won't be able to be fully locked down at night if any life forms are detected. While this may foil any plans you might have had to do your own bit of burglary, it also means, and this is more relevant to the story, that you will have to do a classic buddy cop movie stakeout. The night is long and it does rain for a bit, but you all sleep in shifts and share some chicken parms, but unfortunately you didn't notice anyone doing any thieving. Eventually, the owner shows up, unlocks a few things, and the magical wards drop as they open the door and head inside. Then, not a minute later, you see someone very small stealthily exiting those same doors. Oh, but wait, that's not someone, it's something. A small, animated puppet carrying what appears to be a wrinkled and creased bag of holding is escaping. Using your deductive reasoning, you could very well have guessed, if I wasn't about to tell you, that someone left this puppet inside the bag overnight and hid it somewhere very sneaky-like until it was time to enact the devious plan. This is the puppet's grand larceny. But now's not the time of hows, whos, and whens, it's time for action. You follow this little puppet criminal down alleys and back streets, sticking to the shadows like a shadow in the night, until at last you find yourself outside a home on the outskirts of town, watching as the puppet slips through a doggy door at the bottom of a people door. You look inside and see the culprit. Busting inside the building like the Kool-Aid Man on a hot summer day is a bard, loot, feather in the cap and all, and he was the one controlling this puppet all along. The bard and the rest of their crew don't take too kindly to destruction of property though, and you did just break in their door. So in the end, who's the real jewelry thief after all? So after you beat up these jewelry thieves, you have to decide whether you want to take them in for the bounty or keep all of this stolen jewelry for yourselves. And in the end, isn't that what D&D is all about? That is my little story for you to play with. Also, go ahead and look in the description section. I'm going to put some stats for like some puppets and some bard puppet abilities for you to play with if you want to make this part of your adventure. Good day.